Welcome to the Design Studio Keynote here at AIF 2025. Let me introduce the team. My name is Marek Travny, and I run product management for automotive and conceptual design at Autodesk. With me on stage today, I have Brandon Tasker, product manager for data, Lukas Veth, product manager for visualization, Timo Gmeiner and Jakob Lose, both product managers for AI, as well as Christoph Randrup, product manager for customer excellence. Let me also introduce Pascal Seifert and Barry Kimball, our technical product management team, world-leading experts in Alias and VRED. Before we get started, let me quickly show our safe harbor statement. We are going to talk about the future today, and of course, plans for the future can always change, especially these days. So please don't take any buying decisions based on the content of this presentation. So before we look into the future, let's look at the past. Back then at AIF 2023, we delivered on a promise after a very long journey, which was the modernization of our apps, Alias and VRED. And then last year, on this stage, we showed our first prototype of AI capability for creative form finding, called Form Explorer. And also at AIF 2024 on this stage, we introduced a collaboration with a company called Navasto, real experts in predictive AI for simulation. And as most of you know, Navasto is now not only part of our company, they are part of our team, which is amazing. Great to have you guys on board. And last but not least, last year on this stage, we made another promise. The promise to connect Alias and VRED seamlessly for the first time. And this is not only the connection of the applications, this is the connection of the personas and the functions in the studio. So today, we're not only delivering on that promise, we're giving you an opportunity to change your process, to change the ways you work. With Alias and VRED being truly connected for the first time throughout the whole process. So we're talking about concept, we're talking about modeling, we're talking about visualization, and we're even talking about some aspects of engineering. Now, for the first time, we're connecting the process end-to-end with Alias and VRED at the heart of it. So now, let's look at these connected workflows.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. For many years, we have all wanted to have a closer, better, barrier-free working between Alias and VRED. In order to make you guys more creative and do it all faster, you need a barrier-free way of working with the best-in-class tools. And so I'm really excited to be able to talk to you today and get to show you what we've been working on and how we are connecting our applications that help connect your design studio. And I'm going to start today by talking about 3 different areas. To bring modeling and visualization closer together, we're going to talk about how we're using shared components between our applications. We're going to talk about how we connect the core data next. And then finally, how we build connections across the entire studio. And by doing so, we're going to give you visual consistency, something I'll touch on many times through the next couple slides. Let's start with the components. Last year, we spoke about the changes we were making to rendering technology. So here, we are talking about migrating from OpenGL to Vulkan, a modern rastization renderer that would give us the groundwork for amazing things in the future. And now Vulkan is becoming reality. It has become the shared rendering technology between our applications. It offers speed and high performance for handling really complex scenes. It better manages lots of lights that you put in your scene, making your images look beautiful. It gives us new visual improvements like screen space refractions and more better realistic performance for displacement mapping. We believe that Vulkan will really change the way you work in real time. But more excitingly, with 2026, Alias now ships with VRED Vulkan technology. That means inside of Alias, you have VRED rendering along with VRED materials. The modernization of these graphics allows you to have better visuals, but more importantly, it brings consistency across the project. It brings consistency with materials from the beginning to the end. And those shared materials means you can achieve an identical look with the same lighting conditions. It also means you can save time by reusing materials across your design projects. And not only have we added support for VRED materials, but we've also added support for viewing AXF, Material X, MDL, AXF, sorry, did I say that already? And substance materials. And we're partnering with Covestro to really enhance and extend our integration of measured materials. And you can learn more about that tomorrow in our deep dives with Pascal. And of course, this new VRED renderer in Alias also just provides better visualization throughout creative modeling and technical surfacing. Gives you new render settings to control the environment, lighting, ambient occlusion, and the addition of new color space and tone mappers. All of this gives you the ability to make the applications both look alike, at the same time giving you a little bit more creative control. So, with VRED rendering in Alias, now you can have visual consistency from the beginning of the design process till the end. Visual consistency builds trust. Trust between the applications, but also trust that can extend into the real world. This trust means you can take more informed decisions earlier in the design process. But next, we're going to talk about another project. And we're going to talk about how we're syncing the core of our applications, something we're calling live referencing. And with both Alias and VRED 2026, and you may have already seen this, we've released this new feature workflow we call live referencing. It was created to solve collaboration across the studios, between our applications, but also how we connect your teams and departments. More importantly, how we unlock new ways that you can work. So with live referencing, we now can do a lot of different things. We can fluidly sync important data and information between Alias and VRED, and also do so in almost real time. We can do this by supporting the ability to update your scenes automatically, almost live in real time. We can eliminate rework with the addition of non-destructive overrides. We save you time through speed and high performance of loading data. We really think that live referencing will change the way that you design your vehicles today. And importantly, we made it really easy to use. So enable it in Alias, choose a couple settings, whether you want it to be live updating or not, and you're good to go. Now you go into VRED, you open your live reference or create the live reference to that Alias file. The data loads extremely fast, and now you can begin working. So this sets up a really good workflow for lots of different people. Let's start with the individuals. This works great because they can use the power of both products side by side, taking advantage of the tools that you need when you need them. Like, for example, we'll hear more about later, our new render guide. Enable live and automatic updates in our applications, and you can see surface changes happen instantly. The most valuable part here, though, is the overrides that we maintain. So as you can see in this example, you can maintain things like transformations, material assignments, that are all maintained as the surface is being changed. This means that you can mock up ideas and concepts earlier, push them along faster, and at the same time work fluidly with Alias and VRED side by side. But more importantly, it's really about how live referencing adds to the values that of all the different ways you already work. So when modeling hands over components to visualization, those parts or files can be updated so many times during the process. And many times, when you do that, it adds a lot of overhead. You have to rebuild scenes, restart from scratch, rebuild or assign materials or variants. But now, with live referencing, we are enhancing your capabilities. Viz artists can create live references to a bunch of Alias source files alongside other data, like engineering data. They can choose when they want to update, and now updating is really fast. And in the past, when you've been crammed for time to make sure to get something in for a review, and you didn't know if it would make it, now be sure that it can, with really quick updates, and see the latest changes at all times. All of this means that your models can continuously evolve, as they do in real life, and you will always be ready to review. At all times as well, in this workflow between our applications, you can use Alias and VRED side by side, but VRED can be continued to be powered by high-quality hardware technology that you may have already. So you can run something like a streaming service to a display in your studio and display always up-to-date version of how the model is evolving. Or you can power a high-end review through XR or on your Powerwall. This means, though, you can make live surfacing changes in real time, get that feedback directly, and make decisions when those changes are happening. Our focus for our 26 releases has really been about getting Alias data into VRED very quickly and having really good support for this material overrides, transformation overrides that I've talked about, and everything more that we support. But we also have a plan to sync things back. And the two main ones I'm going to mention today, along with a lot of little other ones we're looking at doing, are the support for materials. So if you do material assignments in VRED and want to be able to pull those back into Alias, the materials and their assignments can come along. And finally, review information. Being able to take notes inside of VRED and have those flow back with cameras or viewpoints is also an important item that we want to look at in the future. So we are super excited about live referencing and the technology that brings to you. We think it will help you save time and go faster, simplifying data handoff, supporting effortless updates, and non-destructive overrides. It gives you enhanced capabilities, letting you take advantage of the right tool at the right time. And finally, we're hoping it takes your collaboration to the next level between users and teams and help you make decisions fast. And finally, connecting our apps wouldn't be complete without Flow production tracking. New rendering and Alias and live referencing really are a complement to working alongside Flow production tracking. And it continues to be a critical tool, especially with all the business pressures that we're all facing these days. So this is just a quick reminder of 3 different ways that we are helping and supporting you. Flow production tracking can really help the design collaboration in a studio through all types of handoffs, helping teams work together, giving structured organization to the process. Also adding transparency for everybody in the studio, but also decision makers. Knowing how things are progressing, how design projects are changing, helps you take informed decisions at the right time. And finally, supporting new ways of working. FPT and the ecosystem around it helps you build powerful workflows that you can automate tasks and really accelerate your design process. So with all of that, I'm here to summarize that VRED, rendering and Alias, live referencing, and Flow production tracking really are building workflows that help you connect your studio, helping you save time and create the best designs you can with visual consistency from start to finish.
Awesome, thank you. Isn't that exciting? We're bringing our tools closer together than ever before, basically creating a connected system that amplifies the value of both individual products. And we're not stopping there. So, as you can see on the slide, I'm going to talk about the core capabilities, the capabilities that make our products the very essence of Alias and VRED, and how we're enhancing that. So let's take a look at what our teams have been working on for our products' major releases, FY20 or 26 major releases, and what's on the horizon as well. First, we reimagined how to render high-quality imagery with simplicity, so making it as simple as possible to render. And as you can see in the video already, our team introduced a new module in VRED called Render Guide, a module that streamlines the process of creating realistic visuals in VRED. Combines all the aspects and the settings that you need to create those in a single module, making it the perfect starting point for somebody, for an Alias user that sends the data to VRED via live referencing, or let's say casual VRED user, somebody who's occasionally using the application to elevate their output quickly and make it more easily. Again, you're not overwhelmed by the UI, you just get exposed to a very clean and simple to use UI, but you still get the stunning visuals that you're used from VRED. It is also guiding you through the experience so you can't miss anything. You'll be exposed to all the settings and basically just go through and adjust the image to your liking. And when you want to take things even further, we got you covered as well with more advanced capabilities. We added new tools to help to communicate the emotional intent and the story around your design, both for internal but also for external stakeholders, obviously. So you now have full control over color management in VRED, from color spaces to cinematic tone mapping, an integrated open color IO-based color grading system, all for real-time and for offline use cases. And additionally, we allow for more imperfections to be added. The latest addition is called chromatic aberration. It's mimicking the effect of a camera lens, and it's making the rendering just more lifelike, and as you can see in the videos, appear more, realistic, more as you know it from the real world. And this is just the beginning. You can expect more on that in that front with effects like lens flares, pixel-based lens flares, bloom, and film grain in the future. And all those features and effects work across all of our render engines. So on GPU ray tracing, CPU ray tracing, and the latest addition that Brandon just introduced called Vulkan. In Vulkan in VRED, we have additional hybrid ray tracing capabilities that I want to talk about in a second. So you can, for example, add ray traced reflections or ray traced shadows on top of your rasterization image, lowering the computational cost, but also improving the visual quality and enabling use cases that were challenging before, like ray traced XR, for example. Additionally, this is reducing the cloud computation cost for cost-sensitive use cases like online configurators or online streaming systems. And we'll continue to expand on Vulkan's capabilities, with the next goal being direct and indirect illumination. So stay tuned for updates. And while the visual quality is key to evaluating a digital prototype, functionality is also very important. So that's why we are adding both functional and physics-based constraints to ensure that digital prototypes reflect the mechanical behavior or the functionality and allow you the physical interaction or the interaction based on physics with the final product. For example, interacting with a car like opening a door in XR, opening a door, opening the trunk, pushing a button, or rotating the steering wheel will just behave like it would be in the real world. Also, we are overhauling our already very powerful variant handling system, so the variant sets, from VRED. Making it more powerful and flexible with the addition of dependent variants or cascaded variant sets, but also metadata. Making digital prototypes not just look, but also behave realistically. And speaking about intuitive and realistic experiences with digital twins, XR plays a huge role, of course. It's becoming increasingly more popular since see-through, so real mixed reality and augmented reality is more common and better or easier to use. You saw some some of you saw some very impressive demos down there with the Apple Vision Pro or the Quest 3, because people feel more, natural and more comfortable if you can see your colleagues, if you merge the real and the digital world, and you're just not enclosed in this virtual reality experience as it was with VR. We have completed the support for OpenXR, providing all the XR hardware suppliers or partners an interface to connect to the VRED XR capabilities. And next, very exciting, we're looking at overhauling our in-XR experience. So you see some sneak peek, some ideas that our teams have in the video already. Yeah, we want to, I mean, it's more than 10 years old now since we started XR and VRED and since the menu was implemented. So we really want to make that more modern, more intuitive, and most importantly, more customizable, tailored to the needs of designers, modelers, visualization specialists, but also managers and decision makers. So now that we have a seamless connection in our tools, we can really focus on one holistic solution for XR that fits the needs for every stakeholder in the automotive development process. And it's not just XR that is evolving. We are continuously improving the user experience of our desktop products as well. And after unifying the look and feel of Alias and VRED a few years ago, now we're fine-tuning the UX to make it even more productive or to maximize the productivity. In Alias, you'll find enhancements like the layer bar improvements, a text tool for markup, a function to gather your windows in case you lost them on a second screen or something like that, updates to the puck and to the shader lister, among other improvements. So it's really important for us not just to have very capable core capabilities or very powerful core capabilities, it is also important to make them easily accessible, easy to learn, and efficient to use. And for Alias, or the core competency of Alias obviously is around modeling and surfacing. So let's start with the improvements around sub-D modeling. Before we go into details though, I want to highlight something. As you see, I have to go through the features pretty quickly. I can just highlight some to give you an overview of what the teams have been doing and adding and are working on. I think it was called out already. Tomorrow afternoon, there's a deep dive from Barry for Alias and Pascal for VRED. And I really encourage everybody to go in there because, as I said, I could only pick a few and have a few sentences to describe. But I think all the features are way more, or worth way more visibility and more details than we can get in this 1 hour that we have here. So let's get into it. Soft modification, the first feature I want to highlight in the sub-D section. A new tool that allows for proportional transformation of selected UVs with customizable attributes like fall off. I guess many of you know soft modification features already. This combined with a flexible selection or flexible selection modes like lasso or box or painting is a huge time saver for sub-D modeling, but also works for other CVs in Alias, so also for curves and NURBS. The second one, and that's what you see on screen right now, is the sub-D check model. It's an automated tool that helps to check and ensure the quality of your sub-D models, evaluating the control cage, basically highlighting issues that you might have in a model like star points, triangles, short edges, or overlapping CVs. So it's really a tool to assure that you can hand off clean data to a colleague or to a different department, and also making sure that you can check data that you get from a colleague if it meets your quality standards or the quality standards of the job that you have to perform based on that data set that you got. But the very essence of Alias is high quality surfacing. And of course, we have been continuously improving that space as well. Again, I can only highlight a few key features. I want to start with what you see on the screen right now, editable trim stages. This allows you to selectively modify trim operations without affecting others. So there's no more need to untrim stuff to change something, like to go back in the sequence of trimming. Or undoing the most recent trim operation to achieve something. So obviously, it is a huge time saver because you can avoid all those extra steps that you had to take in the past. The next one is trim extend. The trim tool is now smarter, especially when extending a curve on surface. It automatically switches to linear calculation when the extension would have failed in earlier versions. And last but not least, variable offset tool. It's a new tool to create non-uniform offset surfaces, basically enabling you, as you can see, with more control to control the distance of the offset based on the surface corners or edges. And we are continuing to invest in surfacing excellence, focusing on improvements around corner blend or surface fillets and more of the tools that you use on a daily basis, using both traditional but also more innovative approaches. And finally, I want to give you a sneak peek into something that our teams are working on when it comes to when NURBS meet surfaces or when sub-Ds, or when you want to convert the two into each other. We all know that Alias combines or has this very unique approach of hybrid modeling between NURBS and sub-D, which is great, but sometimes you still don't have one or the other and you want to convert it. So our teams are working on tools that allow you for a semi-automatic, easy-to-use conversion between the two types. So whether you need to convert an old NURBS file because you want to have a sub-D version of it to model on top of it for more flexibility or easier handling, let's say, or if you want to convert a sub-D model to NURBS for downstream use. This will all allow you for a smooth transition with minimal effort. So you can see that we are strengthening our core capabilities, the very essence of our products, while modernizing their user experience to make it more accessible, easy to use and to learn, and more efficient. And this focus now, or this work now pays off for both Alias and VRED users, as we have this connection between the tools with live referencing. And we can now really focus on the tool's core competencies, and as they are seamlessly connected, and we don't have to replicate a functionality in one or the other, because you can just move from one tool to the other depending on the job that you have to do or the task that you have in front of you. So the core competence or capabilities of our products are stronger and more powerful than ever, and we'll keep innovating to stay cutting edge, just as we have been over the last decades.
Thanks, Lucas. Okay, so this morning we all heard from Mike about all the great things Autodesk is exploring in research with respect to AI. Our team is really focused on bringing all these great AI capabilities into your automotive design studio. And the thing that we really think about is, how do you bring more context, more automotive context into AI models, right? The more context you bring into a model, the more valuable it becomes. So we're really exploring how you can enhance every stage of the automotive design process. So in concept design, we're thinking about how we can speed up concept iteration with new ways of sketching and new ways of integrating language prompts. In modeling, we want to bring faster form development and more control and edited or guided editing into how you use 3D AI tools. In visualization, we aim to speed up storytelling and help your teams align faster. And on the engineering side even, we're bringing in performance data earlier into the design process with things like Nevasto. So across all of this, what our goal is, and it's very clear to us, we really want to accelerate design workflows and bring Alias and VRED users closer together. So we have three core principles also that are guiding how we're building AI tools. Number one, we want to generate functional geometry that's useful to your teams and shorten the path to that usable geometry. We want to help you share compelling product stories, right? Removing friction from design storytelling. And we want to connect disciplines through data, right? We want to transform data that's trapped in your engineering or design organizations and bring them into a resource that can accelerate design decisions. Okay, so starting off with functional geometry, right? Mike showed this morning, Autodesk is doing a lot of research on pushing the state of the art in 3D generation. And there's a lot of things that are happening in industry and academia, lots of stuff going on, right? We're working on integrating different aspects of this technology into automotive design. And as mentioned earlier today, the first step of this is Form Explorer, right? It's the first integration of 3D Gen AI into Alias. And it's a plugin that allows you to create vehicle concepts in seconds. So what a user can do is leverage automotive-specific design language to generate and refine explorative concept geometries, right? It delivers a real-time experience, a real-time interaction, and editable outputs that can help designers generate automotive exteriors in seconds. And the unique thing about this is where the magic of natural language meets design. Using just a few words, designers can instantly explore a wide range of concepts, sometimes that are fast, sometimes that are exciting. They push creativity, and they push your creativity forward by generating ideas or concepts that you might not have otherwise come up with naturally. So this kind of novelty, this sort of novel creative exploration process can help you break creative blocks and give your team a broader foundation to build ideas upon. Okay, so once you find a novel shape, a novel form that you want to explore, you want to turn that into a functional geometry, a sub-D that you can modify further. So what we've been working on something called, it's an evolution of reform, we call blank form, that it gives you the power to transform a mesh into a usable sub-D model, first by making conversion, and then by highlighting key character lines that the AI generates that are the sort of core expressive element in what the AI has generated. So using these guide curves, you can sort of use the guide curves as constraints to align control vertices in your sub-D model and create a refined surface. And in this way, you can sort of create a refined iteration of a new subdivision surface and add or remove guide curves to emphasize key features. And the core idea here is that we want to help you remove any noise generated by the AI and transition into detail surfacing as smooth as possible. So to also accelerate concept storytelling, we've been exploring different ways of integrating image generation AIs into Alias and VRED workflows. The first exploration that we've created is something called Snapshot. And what Snapshot allows you to do is generate and share explorative image concepts quickly. So you can use Snapshot together with live referencing, as you saw earlier, to create visuals that are generated from meshes created in Form Explorer. So whether you want a photorealistic render or a sketch style or a sketch-styled image or a simple shaded view, it's all built into the interface. You don't need to switch into another tool or export files. It gives you a helping hand in preparing for a design review or a conceptual review or just getting some quick visual feedback. And so once your visuals are ready, you can send them straight into flow production tracking. So that means no more saving screenshots to your desktop. Just share it directly in flow production tracking with someone on your team. No lost links and emails. It's really just a quick way to get an idea recorded, share it for feedback, and even if you'd like, get it marked up, get some quick iteration comment, and move on with an effective design faster than ever. Okay, so putting it all together, Form Explorer is something that allows you to evolve an idea from a blank page, as you heard earlier. And when you have something you like, you can create a visual of it in Snapshot and share it with your team in flow production tracking. Using blank form, you can take every mesh that you generate with an AI and refine it using the same subdivision tools that you know and love from Alias. And all of these capabilities sort of combine to accelerate concept design and concept communication, bringing you closer to a winning idea. So I'm going to hand it off. Thank you.
Hi. So the next AI chapter is about leveraging existing data and extracting valuable information that helps you to connect different disciplines and teams. The idea is to use this information and store it in a predictive AI model that provides you with real-time engineering insights in your design process whenever you require them. Our idea of AI accelerated design and engineering is really that people from different departments are enabled to meet in one room and work together interactively. They can produce new designs, evaluate the impact of design changes on the performance, identify areas that are worth fighting for, and everything in real time. And since those AI predictions, even on a laptop, just take a few seconds, you can really work in real time and make decisions within that meeting without having to postpone those decisions to the next weekly meeting, since you have to wait for time-consuming simulations that get back from the high-performance computing system. So how does this work? Obviously, if you want to unlock predictive AI in your design process, the first thing you need to do is train an AI model. And our software enables the customer to train their own custom AI models based on their own simulation data. And once the model is probably trained and it's like deployed, you can use it for those predictions. So every time a user comes in with a new design, he can use the pre-trained model and get fast results almost in real time. And since this technology is really meant to accelerate your existing design processes without disturbing your flow, I'm really happy. I could almost say it is about time that this technology is now fully integrated in Alias, and it looks like this. So as I said, whenever you have like a design that you see fit to get like a performance review, you just open the plugin, load your pre-trained AI model, mark the geometry that should be evaluated, and hit the predict button. And then you get instant information about all your key performance indicators, like the drag, the lift on the rear axis, front axis, and also some field variables like the pressure distribution. And once the review is done of the performance, you simply switch back to your normal way of working on subDs, working on NURBS, using the new soft modification tool, and create the next variant. You can create variants that show some larger changes, like here on the hood. You can also incorporate some smaller changes that are quite local. This is something that is not disturbed. It should not be any different. And again, once you're satisfied with your results and you want to evaluate the performance, just reopen the plugin and hit the predict button again, and you get again an update on your performance indicators. You can also change the color bars and the ranges for like more sophisticated review of the results. But at the end, it's not that spectacular. It's really like an additional functionality that should accelerate your work. So let's look a bit deeper into the process. Usually, it works like this. You design one variant, you evaluate the performance, and sooner or later, you will come to a point where maybe you're not completely satisfied with the results. I think that's quite naturally, and I think also we cannot fully resolve this yet. And my personal opinion is also we should not. But what we can do is that we recommend a few options, a few possibilities that fulfill all your objectives and constraints. And this is what we call a recommendation system. Our recommendation system combines the predictive AI with the generative AI that produces unlimited new variants of your design, which look like this. So you see it's quite a sharp geometry, which has smaller changes. There's a lot of automatic tests and stays within the customer branding. So this Autodesk SUV is not like transformed into a Porsche or any other car unless you want it to be. And with each of those variants, you also get the performance, the aerodynamic results from the predictive AI, which could look like this. This is the pressure distribution on the surface of the car. But of course, you also get some scalar values like the drag. And you have the possibility to combine this technology with some optimizers and, for example, run a drag optimization over roughly 80 iterations. So you see how you produce new geometries. They all have results. And one important thing to note is that such an optimization task has a turnaround time of about like 30 minutes. So the idea is that you head out for lunch, and when you return, you have plenty of options available. You can either just pick the most promising design and trust the prediction. You also can say, I would never completely trust the prediction. I need additional insurance. I want to run additional high-fidelity simulations. But maybe you don't want to run 80 simulations. Maybe you also only want to run those simulations for the most promising 5 variants. You also have the freedom to choose on your own whether you just want to pick like a fraction of the inspiration the AI gave you and continue in a different way. And this is quite important. We really see this technology as a recommendation system, maybe also as a pre-selection system. And at the end, it's really your choice what you want to do with it. At the end, it should accelerate your process and serve as an assistant. Right. The next important thing is this technology is purely data-driven. So it is not limited to predict aerodynamic results, like I showed in those slides. You can also use it to predict crash simulation results. You can also get some information about the durability of critical parts or about the cost of sheet metal stamping. Again, it's about the workflow that really serves you. And if you needed additional information, we are happy to welcome you at our booth. You can also try the Alias plugin on your own if you would like this. And with this, I want to wrap up the AI section. And in the context of enhancing the design process using AI, we are just getting started. We will work hard to provide you with the tools that make you more efficient and more creative. And whether it's really the actual use of deep learning methods, or if it's like a simple machine learning method, or just a workflow automation, it should really accelerate your design processes so that you can make better concepts faster. Also, those early insights into engineering results, they should give you confidence so that you can follow your ideas without hesitations. And last but not least, we will also continue to make those products in a very integrated way so that they enhance collaboration between teams. Thanks.
Collaboration. Collaboration is key between you as our customers and us to be successful in the realization of what we have just seen, the improvements, the enhancements. We've seen a lot of new ways of working, like live referencing, render guide in VRED, VRED rendering in Alias, Form Explorer, Snapshot, and predictive AI. And we are here to help you to bring all those improvements into your processes and workflows. Our aim is that the result is a better collaboration between your teams, less errors and less confusion. During the next few minutes, I just want to show you on how we can be successful in these areas. Let's look at the different areas where we as Autodesk can help you to adopt the new possibilities. First, we have automotive solution engineers, they are outside, who are available to help explore ideas, discuss proof of concepts, and give advice. Then we, as product managers, are here to have strategic discussions, and of course, you have the account team, and they are there whenever needed. If, of course, the integration needs additional resources, we have a bunch of consultants. I just want to highlight one project. It's called Design Review Tool. The Design Review Tool improves the process of collecting, documenting, and tracking design issues in a central place. And afterwards, they can be easily retrieved. And this shows a perfect integration of Alias, VRED, flow production tracking that's customized to the customer's needs. Consulting booth is outside, and there are several other projects you can talk about with our colleagues. Lots of you have an enterprise business agreement already, and I ask you to make use of it. Lots of services are already included in these enterprise business agreements. If you don't have one, get one. Another topic I want to talk about is partners and the ecosystem. I want to cover two areas. One is the cloud resources that are available worldwide, anytime, anywhere. So you don't need huge compute power on-site. You can rely on cloud vendors for rendering, movie generation, streaming, anytime, anywhere. But also, if you think about AI learning for Form Explorer and predictive AI, it's there. Another area where we work with partners is OpenXR. Via OpenXR, it's easy to use most of the mixed reality devices with VRED, like the Apple Vision Pro, which you can look at outside as well, the Meta Quest, just to mention some, HTC Vision, Vario XR4. So, with live referencing OpenXR, you have an easy and quick path to virtual decision making. Alias, VRED, mixed reality device. And that helps you to democratize visualization. Our ask is, if you want to discuss any topics in details, reach out to us, product managers, automotive solution engineers, and your account team.
Wow. So let me summarize everything for you. Obviously, we started with Brandon talking about live referencing and VRED rendering in Alias. We had Lucas talking about our core capabilities. We had Timo talking about AI for creativity. We had Jakob talking about AI for efficiency. And then we had Christoph talking about how you can turn all of this into reality. That is a lot of stuff, of course. But please, rest assured, Autodesk is here to make sure that you can turn slides into your reality. We are outside. We want to talk to you throughout the next 2 days of this event. We want to hear from you. We want to collaborate with you, which is really key, so that we can help you to accelerate your process, to shrink your development times from the first idea up until the point where your design hits the customer, hits the road. But before we end the session today, let me highlight a few more sessions for you, which are going to take place throughout the next 1.5 days. I cannot mention everything, but of course, we have our product deep dives already mentioned. They are going to take place tomorrow in the afternoon. At the same time, we have Mathieu from our experienced design team running dedicated sessions with a few of you customers to really learn and collaborate with you on the future of user experience. Of course, we have our Whisper Suites with AI topics covered by Matthias, covered by Timo, and we have a whole raft of experts here with, of course, Pascal Seifert, Barry Kimball on the deep dives, and more technical experts, whether it's Bianca, Michael, Lionel, and Dan, just to name a few. So, thank you very much for attending our keynote today. As I already mentioned, please take the advantage to talk to every single one of the product team and everyone downstairs at the booth. We're really looking forward to turn slides into reality as one team. Thank you.